Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Beth Ellicott.
And this is the midweek version of the Fiber Talk podcast that we do twice a week for the needlework artists. Yes. Uh,
Art.
Promised last week that it was going to be Amy Jones this past Sunday, but we moved that because Jean Lee passed away. So Amy Jones of Grandpa Cat from Australia will be our guest this coming Sunday. Just had to move that with Jean Lee passing away. So we'll have Amy on Sunday. And she's fascinating embroidery, nature-based, a lot of French knots, a lot of French knots. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, so we'll have
Texture.
that coming up Sunday. Yeah, she's good. Yep. And the Gene Lee thing passing away. I realized we talk about Gene Lee, and people have been posting all over the place, remembering Gene and what a great lady she was. And I realized for our audience that's not exclusively cross stitch or samplers, they may not even know who Gene is.
hmm That's
And
true.
for those of you who don't know, Gene Lee owned the Attic Needlework in Mesa, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. And that's that, like Sassy Jack Stitchery, a destination shop. Like if you can, you plan a trip to go to Mesa, Arizona, either for an event, a seminar, a class, a weekend, or whatever they're doing, or just to go to the shop and be able to go there 2 or 3 days. And our son Kevin used to live about 5 miles from there, and so that was dangerous. But Gene, and on top of owning the shop, I mean, to me, owning the shop was secondary when it came to reproduction samplers and samplers in general. I mean, she was
Yeah.
top of the list. I mean, you mentioned samplers, and who. Well, she's one A, two A in
Right.
terms of people, because you come up with people like Barbara Hudson at Queenstown Samplers. People who are extremely well known. Well, Gene is right there, and
Right.
go to the Nashville market, and there's Gene. Everybody knows Gene in that world. I mean, that's in
Right.
that shop.
Right.
Holy smokes! Yeah. Now you never got to go, right? Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never been. One of these days. One of these
Yeah.
days.
Oh, yeah. If you can get to that shop, that is a treat. There are more samplers there in drawers and cabinets and linen and threads and you name it. And it's an experience to go. It really is. And display finished projects all over the place. I mean, you can go through that thing, make one lap around, come back, make another lap, and see stuff you didn't see the first time. Yeah,
That's what I've been told. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think it's interesting. She really influenced people to try to get out of their comfort zone, to try linen, to try a smaller count of linen. She was known for encouraging that. And
yeah.
I think she really brought back Swassers-Fien. I know, like Kathy Ray over at Needle in a Haystack, she was supportive, she was pushing that forward,
Yeah.
Swassers-Fien, and she and Jean kind of brought that all back.
Yep.
And that's
Well,
that's dangerous.
yeah. Well, and Jean would say, without hesitation, she would say, "I'm a silk snob." And if you were kitting up a sampler there and you wanted to do it in cotton, there would be all through the process. There would be subtle, very kind Jean Lee pressure to get to do it in silk. If you're going to put all the hours into this thing and all that work, you really want it to be silk. And
Right.
yeah, you almost felt like, okay, well, I caved once. I was going to do it in cotton. I was determined to do it in DMC, and came in there and all right, I want this, and I'm going to get, and finally I just, all right, give me the silks, and then she'd hop to, and she knew right where all the silks were, and um, yeah. So she's been fighting cancer for, oh boy, she put up a battle for years. Got ahead of it, and then it came back, and boy, you gotta, running a shop and doing all she does, and then fighting cancer, and you'd never know talking to her until you see pictures in recent years where she's using a cane, and but yeah, most of the time you just wouldn't know.
Right.
But that
Right.
that show we did when I was out there and did several shows in a week, and we did a Wednesday night show was shopping. Was it shopping or I
Mm-hmm.
forget what we were doing? We did a couple of them, and boy, sitting there, sitting at the table with her, and you were there. You got to talk to her, and just wow, yeah,
It was a fun time. I went back and we watched the one you showed that was 35 minutes. Then we did another one that was 2 hours.
yeah.
The the shopping
Oh
show,
man,
and that was just so fun to hear
yeah.
her and her comments. I accidentally bought too many of these. I must have really loved them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, she's got a bunch of those. And then Sharon Bruce from Ireland mentioned in that show, in one of the shows that the three of us were doing about it was because I was traveling and I said that we would not have a show the next week because Margaret and I would be in the air. And
Yeah.
and
Uh, sh-
Sharon Bruce remembered that she said, "Oh, it's kind of like the Mile High Club," and I'll never, I must have turned 8 shades of red, and
Yeah, you did.
yeah, I looked that up. But coming out of Gene, it was just, oh, it was hilarious. I just about lost it completely. But Sharon Bruce remembered that and pointed out in one of the comments for
I
that.
totally forgot about that.
Oh man,
Totally
that
forgot
was
about it.
just completely out of left field. This this nice lady who everybody looks up to. Oh, that's like the no, it's not Gene. It's different. Because I was talking about doing a show from the airplane,
Yeah,
and yeah,
not that kind of show.
no, not the same thing, Gene. No,
No, no.
she knew exactly. Yeah, but yeah, what a great lady. And that's Sunday's. I put up Sunday's show. It was a 35-minute video that I did with Jean, where I asked her to pick out her favorite samplers. Now this was in 21, October 21. So favorite samplers to Jean is like, okay, I'll take these five because there's 500 of them that are my favorites. But that was so much fun talking to her, and you really got a sense of what she knows and her enthusiasm and passion for samplers. Yeah, that 35 minutes
Right,
was
right.
yeah, terrific.
Well, and then it was oh, I'm gonna pull this out if I can drop anything back beside me. She was the one who talked me into doing this. It was with 5263.
Oh
Oh, it's
yeah,
really pulling it.
there. No, it's
Uh,
fine. Yeah, that's
and with
Portafett, right?
Swasserfee, yeah, Portafett with by Lindsay Lane Designs, and it's huge. I mean, this is 5263,
Yeah.
so it's not small.
Nope.
That's the edge. So it's
It's
a
big.
yard.
Yeah.
So anyway, and the it's just a beautiful piece. I changed the colors, but again, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
you guys showed that, and I was like, okay, that's it. I gotta do that. I gotta do
Yeah. It was
one.
really hard to spend any time with her and not spend money. Really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and just the enthusiasm. So yeah. So finally, um, she left us. Put up a battle. I'll tell you, that was a lot of years fighting cancer, and finally, so that was a huge loss for those who are not connected to cross stitch and samplers. Think of the person in your technique that you would say is the icon, and yeah, she was
Right.
it. Yep, she was it. Sad thing, sad thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
thanks to Jean, she just did so much for so many, and for the art itself.
Right.
Yeah, tremendous.
And it seemed to me that she was very supportive of new designers, of new
Hmm.
people coming out. That's the thing that I see a lot. I saw a lot on Instagram and Facebook. People who said when I first time at market, Jean came and talked to me. It's just,
Yeah.
over and over. It wasn't just like one person. It
No.
was like lots of people.
Yeah.
So she encouraged people. She was an
Yeah.
encourager,
Yep.
and she
And
will be missed.
yeah. and the shop obviously continues, and that's the other thing is the newsletter. Who didn't get the newsletter every time it came out just to look at all the new samplers that she had. um, you
Yes.
know, and beautifully done newsletter. Actually, the newsletter was the piece. I mean, the website never really had much on it. I haven't looked at the website lately. I never bothered. You just look at the newsletter, and
Right. Right.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we're gonna miss her. She was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we were blessed to have her, no question. Yep.
Yes.
So, and speaking of events, the Fiber Talk weekend coming up March 21 to 23. Please register. Get your registration in now. February 18 is when the room block rate ends. So if you're going to stay overnight, either one or two nights, you need to get your room reserved at the hotel to get the event price. Otherwise, it goes to whatever they charge, and you know how hotels are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want to get that rate, now we decided. Marg and I were driving back from. I got to go see our granddaughter Vivian this past weekend, and we were driving back, and so we cooked up a little thing. All right, so here's the Valentine's Day offer for the Fiber Talk Needle Arts weekend. All right, here's the Valentine's Day offer. I gotta make sure I get this right. So if you sign up and recruit 3 friends, so it's you and 3 friends, so 4 people, and if everybody registers by Valentine's Day, so everybody's registered by Valentine's Day, and you have till the 18th to get your room, but you got to register for the event. Then you get half off as the recruiting person. You get half off your rate either the weekend or the Saturday only, and you can. That's the option. You can stay for the weekend, or you can just show up on Saturday. And we have a couple people already who are showing up on Saturday. One or two are driving. Actually, I think there's 3 now. One or two are driving, and one's staying overnight Friday night, and then being there all day Saturday. So either way, 300 or two and a quarter, you get half off of that if you can recruit 3 friends to come. But you all got to register by the 14th, and then obviously get your rooms. So that 2 rooms, share the room. And then how you do what you do with that discount's up to you. You can split that discount up amongst the 4 of you, or you can just keep it yourself. Whatever works. But
Right.
so by February 14, you can get that deal. So
Right. So they just put that they're going to be with this group of people. All put all names down when they send the note to Marga.
right, right, yeah. Send. It's going to be me and these 3 people. We want the deal, and then you just the person who recruited the people gets the half off. Everybody doesn't get half off. Couldn't afford
Right.
that, but they get half off, and then yeah, you can spread that discount around, save people some
Right.
money. So it's 300 for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or 225 to be there Saturday, and you can take all the classes, and wetalkfiber.com/weekend is where all the details are at. And for those watching the video, it's right at the bottom of the screen, but it's just wetalkfiber.com/weekend, and all the details are there. You just send an email to Marga and tell her it's all explained in the instructions what classes you want, whether you're weekend or Saturday only. She'll send you an invoice for the fee and a link to book your hotel rooms, and then you're off and running. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And someone I know, this is always asked, what techniques, and we're like anything, you know. I was
yeah,
I was digging through my stash the other day for crazy reasons, and I was like, wow, I have crewel. I could bring crewel work with me. I have my casket. I can bring that, which I am bringing. I have cross stitch.
yeah,
Um, I started a new blackwork project,
yeah.
probably be working on something, There's always something,
Right.
it doesn't matter the technique. Bring something that you're comfortable with, and it's just fun to sit and stitch with friends. That's
Yeah.
Meet new people if you're coming alone. I think
Yeah,
that's
and,
part of the
and that
fun.
that's the difference. Thanks for bringing that up. That's the difference because most of these retreats are cross stitchers.
Hmm.
And I would feel weird if I showed up with a needlepoint piece. And I understand people do, but that's part of why we set this up. Is excuse me, whatever your technique, bring it,
Hmm.
please, because I want to see them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the other thing. It's selfish on I think on all of our ends. It's selfish. We want to go around and see what people are doing with all these things.
Right.
So,
Right. And the thing is, you can't, a video or a picture on Instagram or Facebook, it's not the same as seeing
no,
it in person.
no,
Absolutely not.
no,
Absolutely not. Yeah.
no. Bring your gold work. We'll make room for you. We'll
Yeah.
we'll find room so you can lay it out and couch it down. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yep. So everything is explained at wetalkfiber.com/weekend. Get yourself registered now. You think, oh, I've got time. It's March 21. February 18 is that room rate date. And you can register into March. We'll be okay with that. But if you want that room rate, and if you're doing the Saturday and you're going to drive in the morning and drive home at night, then you can get March 5, 8, 10, somewhere in there, and pretty soon we got to cut it off because the hotel wants to know about food and drinks and stuff.
Right.
But
Right.
so get registered, and if you get 3 friends together and everybody registers by the 14th, half off for you for the effort.
Right.
So, yep,
Right. Right. And it's always more fun with friends. The
yep,
more the merrier.
yep. So we hope people will do that and join in. It'll be fun. Yep.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so an update on the everyday challenge, the Beth Ellicott. This is what we're calling it, the Beth. It's all your fault. All your fault now. Wait a minute. Time out. That
What?
necklace. So,
What?
sorry, people who are not watching the video. That necklace. That's all real turquoise.
Yes. I
That's
had it
beautiful.
for a long time. I've had it for a long time. I'll never forget. I needed something to wear in Albuquerque, visiting my mom, and I took this out of my mother's jewelry, and she goes, "You may keep it as long as you promise to wear it." And I do wear it. I do wear it. I love it.
That's stinking
I
beautiful.
love it.
That is gorgeous
It,
colors. Wow.
it is gorgeous, and the little bit of coral in there.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
It's
Wow.
just, it's lovely. It's a lovely piece.
Thanks, Beth's mom.
That's right. I took a picture and I sent it to her the other day because I was wearing it out, and she goes, "That necklace looks familiar."
Yeah, because it was
Yeah, well,
yours.
it's yours. She goes, "Well, I'm glad
uh,
you're wearing it."
yeah, it just caught my eye. Oh, that's beautiful. Well played. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.
Um, so the Beth Ellicott Stitch Everyday Challenge. I've now missed 2 days because
That's not bad.
I had to drive to Marga flew to Kevin's to take care of the baby through the week, and then I drove last Friday. Well, the time I got there and we had dinner and held the baby and all the things, the day was over and I was tired and I didn't stitch. But I did stitch the rest of the time. So while we are there, so 2 days I've missed. This is what, February 4. So I'm counting that pretty good. I'm counting that as
That's
pretty
great.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more
Um,
stitching I've ever done. I mean, look at this.
I want to see this. Oh,
We're getting there, huh?
see, that is gorgeous. You got all the uh, framework done,
Yep.
and
Starting
now
to
you're doing
fill
the
it
fun
in.
bits.
This is for those who are listening. It's the Gay Ann Rogers Lady Mary's geometric, and I'll put a picture up of where my stitching's at. But yeah, I'm getting going. I'm
Yeah,
making some hay here. So
that center section with the blue, not the center, the stripe going
the
through.
stripes, yeah.
What's that stitch? Yeah, what is that stitch?
That's Scottish.
Scotch stitch? So
Yeah,
it's
Scotch
like a
stitch. Yeah,
diagonal.
right. Scotch
Okay,
stitch. Yeah.
because it looks okay. People, look. Make sure you look at the picture, but it looks so textured. It looks like a woven,
Yep.
a little woven brocade. Okay, and you're brilliant. You're just
Yep.
brilliant.
Well,
Let's just
and
admit it.
and that's Gayanne knowing how light comes off of silk. That's pepper pot silk, and
Oh,
and that she knows how light comes off of that silk, and yeah, it looks like a woven basket. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Ain't
gorgeous.
it ain't
It's
me. I
gorgeous.
just stitched them. I stitched them. I didn't do anything fancy. Um, but yeah, this is turning out to be a beautiful piece. This the Lady Mary's Geometric. They all come from Downton Abbey. She's got one for each of the ladies. So I've done. Who was the redhead? What was her name?
I don't know, but I think you did Lady Edith.
Edith. Edith
Did you do
was the redhead. Yeah, and Mary and I have um,
the Dowager?
the Dowager.
No.
There's two of them for the Dowager, and then I forget the other sister. Yeah, I forget. Anyway,
No.
so I have all the charts, and Edith has been framed for a long time, and then I wanted to do this one. So eventually I'll get them all done, just because they're really cool. Yeah,
So are you being fairly monogamous?
at the moment, yeah,
Okay. I was just
yeah.
curious because you're not normally. So
It's not going to last long. No, it's not going to last
okay.
long. No,
Okay. I was just
no,
wondering.
no, no. We got a sampler coming up here that we're going to work on, that we're both waiting for, and then we're going to do that wool applique thing. And so, no, the monogamous is going to come to a screeching halt here pretty quick. Yeah, and we're going to be.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, I was the sampler that I have on my scroll frame. I actually started to take it off and package things up to make way for this other sampler that we have coming. So, yeah, no,
Yeah. Yeah. Always
monogamous,
something.
monogamous just for that short period of time, and then but then I'm going to start. I am, a stitch every day. I'm on a mission, and then it's going to be some kind of a rotation, or some kind of a. I feel like this one today, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep going. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I think that's the how you keep that momentum going is you have a variety of projects for like for me traveling. I mean, if I'm going to be at my mother-in-law's all day, I take a small cross stitch piece or a piece that has a big block of color, something that's easy to carry. Um, so I've been taking Jeanette Kirtland, Queenstown samplers. Um,
Oh, okay. Uh huh.
so I mean, again, it has the big, once you count everything out, let's see, you
Yeah.
know, away you go. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
in a hoop, and I prefer not to do in a hoop, but that's the only way I can travel.
Right. Right.
So it works. It works. It's a nice little piece. I'm going to get it. I'll get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
and then when you have more time and you have a lot of time, a huge hunk of time, you can work on something difficult, like you were doing all the Kryneck laying. I need brain space for that.
Because you're doing this too. I mean, you generally can stitch every day anyway. You usually get that. So what are you doing? Do you have a regular rotation? Like, have you selected things?
Yes. So in the morning, I work on portafett because I need good eyesight to see when I working on this tiny 5263. So
Yeah.
even if I only get like 15 minutes, I'm making progress. None of this had been done well, maybe a little bit had been done at the beginning of the year. So I work
Yeah.
on this in the mornings, and then um, in the evenings, I work on something else. So for some reason, this piece here, this Angel of Love, I have a hard time with it. I think it's because it's an old chart,
Oh.
and it's the symbols are really difficult for me to read. So
Uh.
and then I've got to add all this Kryneck metallic up in here.
Whose
I
design
realized
is
before,
that? That's.
lavender and lace,
Oh yeah.
old.
Yeah. Old.
I think I've had old. It's got, and this is all going to be beads
Oh boy.
or gold work.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Exactly. But
So
yeah, those old charts, we get used to the new ones, and the old ones are hard to adapt to. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a little bit more difficult for me to read, and I even blew it up a little bit to help. And then I do needlepoint too. So I had finished. This was this doesn't fall down. Let me get my little frame here. So this was Debbie Rowley's. Now the center is wrong. I did something wrong in that center,
Uh
and I just made it work because you can't tell.
oh. Not going back. Nope.
No, no. But that was fun, but it was more challenging than I thought. So again, trying to get things done, rotate through projects,
Yeah.
that was nice. But it
Yeah.
was, and now I've got to get another needlepoint project out. I don't have one up here now, and I need one. I need something that's needlepoint to do.
So that's interesting. You've got three, four, five uh, at work, and then so you're not doing a formal rotation. You're just kind of today I feel like this, tomorrow I feel like this.
Right, and it depends on, like, I started this for uh, the my
The
guild. It's the Limone pear,
yeah, yeah,
and so I'd like to have it done by February, but before the end of February. But we'll see. Again, I need to get it done, so it's got top priority. I've been working on it pretty much every day.
mm-hmm.
So
So, but it's just I'm tired at the end of the day. I do mindless cross stitch. In the
right,
morning, I'm doing port to fet because it's small count cross stitch, but
right,
small count. Got to pay attention. Can't afford to get
right,
off by a stitch because everything gets screwed up all the way down the line. That kind
right,
of thing. Okay. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
So it's just a little at a and working on it just a few minutes every day, it is going to get done before the end of the year as long as I keep at it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, that's the thing for me is well, I'm now that I'm actually I'm forcing it. I'm forcing to stitch. Like yesterday, we're recording on Tuesday. Yesterday we drove home and got home. Dinner time. Driving for 6 hours. Blah 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 blah. And no, no, I'm going to set this up and I'm going to at least put in uh, a segment of stitching because I got to keep this going. And so I did, and made a little progress, not much, but at least it qualified in my mind. It wasn't one stitch and that's it. It was a small chunk, but keeping it going. I gotta keep it going. So we'll see how it
right,
plays out.
having a variety of projects helps. I think if just moving through projects, not having this, because if I think I get bored, and because
Yeah,
I'll stitch it several times during the day, maybe just for a half hour. But if all I had was one project, I probably would say, well, let's do something else.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I got multiple projects in multiple disciplines. So,
yeah. No, I'm with you. I gotta switch around. Yeah, I don't.
mhm,
And for some people, the monogamous thing works. They just dig into a project and go all the way. But nah, after a while, I get tired of making X's. I gotta go do something else. And
right, right.
yeah.
Or even like I've got to work on the needle lace project for my casket, and I'm
Oh,
kind of putting it off. So it's like, okay, you're just going to have to say today's the day you're going to work on it. Take some time and just work on it.
yeah,
Because that'll require I stick at it to get it good. I
right.
can't just work on it one day, a month. I have to work on it every day
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to get the tension right.
yeah, yeah. That's
Not
something there. I'm sure that where once you get locked into the tension, that if you leave it, you come back, you almost gotta adjust again, and then
right,
yeah, you interrupt
right,
it too many times, and it just isn't quite right. Yeah,
right, right. Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Because it's
Are
just
you
not
are
going to
you
work.
making progress on that though?
I've I got a leaf done. Where is it? Oh, I only got a couple leaves. I had to reach across here. So I got the butterfly wings in done. These
Mm-hmm.
two wings, this purple flower, which is I did incorrectly, but it'll be fine. But look at this little tiny. This is like a big knotted mess. I don't know if you can even see that.
Barely. Yeah.
But it's I mean it's I'm like it's totally the buttonhole is totally wrong. And it's with Gilt Silk Twist, which is sparkly and shiny and beautiful. And I'm debating, do I make another one? Do I just keep going?
Yeah.
You have, I mean, look, I have a whole bunch more to make in the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
So, but I think I was having problems because I'm catching on these wires here and they're in my way. So I think I'm gonna attach the butterfly wings, attach these purple flowers, and then I think I'll have room to do
Oh, okay. So
because the
yeah, too many
wire,
little pieces on one hoop.
right? Yeah, you can't really see it, but that's the thread that I'm using, and it's
Yeah.
shiny and it's wire,
Uh-huh.
and I've used it before. And once you get the tension right, it's beautiful. It shines. It's
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous.
But
And I
you got to
froze
get it
again.
just right.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but
Now, on that, I see you. It looks like you have a paper for the pattern over your ground cloth,
right. So
and
it's
so then that raises the question: why didn't you transfer the pattern or the shapes?
so you you make a photocopy of this piece of paper, you put contact paper on, and the contact paper helps you when you hit when your needle hits the fabric. So it's not you're not making holes into the fabric that you don't accidentally stick into it.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of helps the needle bounce up because it's slick.
Oh, all right.
Someone said that when you have to make a whole bunch of one shape, and I don't that's further on in this lovely little process, that eventually you did wear out that part of the contact paper.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And and some people don't put it in the hoop. They find it's easier to not hoop it, which
Really?
I find interesting. See,
No.
yeah. So this is kind of a doodle cloth. So this is where you can see here, I did, this is for more than a
Hold up
rose.
higher. Okay.
And see, and that's my practice over here, up
Yeah.
here. So you can see, and I just did it straight in, the fabric. I didn't have the contact paper, and I do remember it, and I had to make a bunch of these little petals.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is easier with the contact paper.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
again, I think it's just, using a modern technique, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously didn't have contact paper in the 17th century.
No. No, they did not. No.
So, but I got to get back to this. This is high on my list of things
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it last Wednesday? Your Gita, who
Yeah.
yeah, who was wondering about buying a box for a casket from Amazon or something. And
Right,
I've never made one, never will make one. But my advice was, do not go cheap on your box.
right,
Uh,
right.
yeah.
I think if you're going to I don't say just, but if you're going to put cross stitch on it, which doesn't take a whole lot of time, the material isn't that pricey for that, for doing cross stitch, you're probably okay. That's what Katie Strachan did, um, and that has done is used a box from Amazon, sanded it down. But you can tell I've got my box over here. Sorry, I got to reach. So I'm just going to take the lid off. So this is the box, the lid for mine. It's hefty. It's nice. It's nicely joined. I think it like this top has like I don't know if you can see it, but some tape on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to sand that off. But it'll be
Mm-hmm.
covered with paper. Gonna put this next to me. And then here's the inside. I haven't done anything because I don't want to lose anything. But here's the hinges.
Yeah.
Here's the little feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to lose anything. And the inside.
Go up higher.
It's
Oh
a
yeah.
it's a little pricey. It's a little
Yeah.
pricey.
But well made.
But well made. Well
Yeah.
made. Um, you you have to get on a list. Sometimes um, Trisha Nguyen gets some returned, um, and she sells them on her site. But you have to ask if you can get on her list. And then the other person that has them is Alison Cole, and to find them on her, who's out of Australia, and to find them from Alison Cole is you go to her website, hit miscellaneous, and under miscellaneous, you'll find stump work boxes. And her husband makes those. And I don't know, like I think he batches them, like he makes a batch and then they
Yeah,
mail them out. So you might
yeah,
have to get on a list.
yeah.
But beautifully made boxes. And you're going to spend a lot of time. And if you're doing the stump work on it with all these beautiful materials, um, silks and silk gimp and metal wire, you want to have a box you can pass on that's quality.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that almost applies to anything. I mean, if you're making an ornament for an ornament exchange or to hang on your tree or just to sit on a table, um, yeah, you probably don't need to invest a fortune in it. But if you're looking at something that will get passed on, like a casket is a classic example, or a big old sampler that you're going to have framed up. I and I know it's expensive, especially if you're doing silk, but it's worth the investment. If you're going to spend months doing it, and then you're going to have somebody frame it, or have somebody you're going to spend another equal amount having it finished into a stand up or something. Do yourself a favor and spend the money. Even if you buy half the thread now and half the thread down the road, or it's like this uh, the band sampler, the Phoenix band sampler from Northern Expressions. Now I bought the linen and the thread, and then I'm going to buy the beads down the road because there's a lot of beads to buy. So all right, well
Right.
we'll spread out the cost. I mean, you don't have to buy everything at once.
Right.
But
Right.
but do keep in mind that if you start with a project and then you don't do it for 5 years, you may find that that some things aren't
Some things are
available.
just
Yeah,
right. Some things are discontinued, especially or dye lots change. Um, and I think too, using the best materials you can afford, that is true. I mean, DMC is lovely. It works lovely. Has a huge color range. I don't think there's anything wrong with stitching with it, but there's something about silk.
yeah,
If you can afford it, pay for it, it's lovely. It's
yeah,
nice to stitch with.
right,
I love it.
yeah. But
It's
then
yeah.
when it comes to DMC, I mean, it's durable, color fast.
Hmm.
And how many times have we seen people do a sampler or well any piece and do it all DMC when the model was done in silk, and sometimes I think the DMC looks better because
Right.
of the colors. So
Right. And Jennifer and I both did Spring Hill.
yeah, yep,
And I did mine in 103s. She did hers, I think, in DMC.
yep, she did.
And, and it's gorgeous. She did a
Yeah,
gorgeous job. They're beautiful. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. I'd take hers any day, any
Hmm.
day. It's the colors are so rich and well done, and
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, there was somebody the other day posted that she'd washed. She did not use DMC, but she'd washed her whatever piece it was, and the reds ran. It's always the reds, and oh man, I
Always.
felt
Oh,
bad for
red.
her. Oh, it's now what do I do? And there's things people do, but I don't think it ever is ever right.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
Red's a bad red
yep,
bleeds. Red and purple.
yeah.
Because purple has red in it.
Just there you have it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, get those.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to wash it, especially if you're going to use it, say Krista West of Leah, put it out on a table with a plant on top of it, or out on the dining room table or whatever. You make sure your threads are color fast. That's why she uses
Hmm.
DMC. Is
Right.
Her designs are functional. She wants them used. She wants you to use them, and DMC is the yeah. Because if you need to wash it, you need to know that red isn't going to spew all over the place and ruin it.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, horrors.
Oh,
Horrors.
jeez.
Horrors.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, I want to talk about this pear that you're working on. This
Oh,
Lemonera,
yeah. And I just call it the
Limonera.
pear. I just call it the pear.
Yeah.
I have to. But I'd been, my friends and I had looked at this a lot. You've got the
Yeah.
photo.
Okay. So this pear comes from the inspirations, passion for needlework. This is the Blackiston Creamery edition, and it's the pear on the cover. And it's a black work pear, but it's black work in color. And it looks
Right.
like a giant pear, but we were measuring before we started recording, and it's going to be what, about 4 inches? Did we say?
Yeah, 4.5 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that big. I mean, mine, I've just started the outlines and I'll get a tape measure out. But it's black work. It's you can I think well right now you can get it if you don't have the book. Inspirations has a downloadable pattern,
Okay.
just so you guys know. But it's been on our we ever since I got that book, I was like, I want to do that pair. It's three-dimensional. It's black work in color, which I love. Yeah. So
Yeah.
mine is
Here's the another shot
yeah
of the
yeah
pear.
that's good.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know if you can still get the book. I have no idea.
I don't think so. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is stitched right here. It's about 5.5 inches. If you can see that.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't see it. There you go. And I think the patterns suggest platinum, and then you're using, where did I just had that thread? Okay, I've lost the
Uh
color.
oh.
Oh, here it is. Here's one. I've got multiples. It's a DMC. This is the DMC they suggest, which is got why it's all those greens and kind of a, I think it's called camouflage. It's DMC 4068.
Okay.
Um, with greens and browns and brights, and then you put in a gold thread to add some sparkle and beads. It has beads in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went to my local store, which is Bestitch Me, and I got a 32 count Lugana in Merlot. So this is, think of a nice rich red
Uh-huh.
wine. And I pulled a thread from her, which was a DMC 4516,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really good in person. It's a good match, but I was having a hard time seeing the red on it, and I started doing some of the black work. So I'm debating on whether I will have to get better light
Uh,
or or change my thread colors. Oh, here, yeah. So it's beautiful. It's just you do a buttonhole around it, and
okay.
the instructions call for putting it like in a slate frame or and doing silk behind the linen.
Okay.
And it's hard to find the silk here. I think Kim Young even looked for it at one point. She says I couldn't find it. We were and we were going back and forth. Do we find a chiffon? Do we find something else? And I thought, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to stitch through 2 layers. I don't like to do it unless I have to.
Right.
So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put some sort of interfacing, a very thin interfacing behind it.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And hopefully, because then you've got like a 1/4 inch seam allowance around here.
Mm-hmm.
You can barely see my line. And so when I put the interface, and I will be using iron-on interfacing, I'll cut that each piece out. I'm doing it on the back, cutting each piece out, and then you push the seam allowance to the back, and then you whip stitch it kind of together. and
Okay.
that's what makes the pear shape.
Yeah.
So that's my idea, but I've got to try it because I told the guild, my local guild, oh, we should do this as a group. And I thought, oh shoot, if I say we're going to do it as a group, I got to lead it.
Yeah. 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 Oops.
The blind leading the blind. So,
Yeah.
but this is it's going to be fun. And
Yeah.
I figured if worse came to worse and I couldn't figure out get this color to work, I would just interface it and make it as a practice piece, and then use a lighter color next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be fun? Someone said, "Oh, you need to make three, Beth. You need to make this red one, a green one, and kind of a yellow one." I was like, "Well, let's see if I can get one done."
Yeah. Yeah. Let's start with one. Yeah. Yeah. But
But it's fun.
and that's the thing with inspirations patterns. To get their kit, invariably they're sold out. Almost, just about all of them sell out so fast. And but they list all the materials, but you can't always get exactly what they can get in Australia.
Right.
And so you
Right.
end up like you end up having a substitute, and you find a way. But yeah, you kind of, I think if you're going to do one of their projects, you really need to be open minded about your materials and say, all right, I don't have this, kits aren't available, but
Right.
this will get the job done, and
Right.
go from there. Yeah, yeah,
Right. Right. So that'll be a fun project. We'll see
yeah,
if I get it done before the end of the month.
yeah. We Americans want to just order a kit, have it show up, everything I need. But yeah, it doesn't always work that way. And it's just, it's a function of, I mean, it's a function of what they have available in Australia and New Zealand that we just simply can't get here. And
Hmm.
wherever
And
they
there's things
were,
that they can't get there that we have here. You
yeah,
know, it's just use what you have. Use what you have available.
right, work it out.
So,
Yeah, you
hmm.
never know. You may like what you do just by adapting. You may like it better. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So, yep. Um, okay. So back to the caskets. On those. Don't go cheap. Trish and Win at Thistle Threads. You don't think most of hers are coming as kits, so you're not thinking that boxes are available.
I think
Um,
occasionally she'll have one available, but you have to, I would contact her. She does not, the cabinet maker retired. So it's people returning their old ones that they
yeah,
didn't do. Family contacting her and getting the old ones
yeah.
back.
So you can contact her and see what you can, see what you can get. Yeah, Allison Cole's husband does make. He's a woodworker, and he makes them. And they're good. Well, we did a show some time ago, a live show, talking about him
Right.
making boxes for one of her projects, and you can tell it's beautiful work. So that's one.
Hmm.
But then to the States, there's shipping, which gets to be an issue. But again, don't go cheap. And then yeah, you can get the cheap ones, but and if you know a woodworker who has the equipment to cut things square and attach them square, maybe you can get somebody to make one for you. Just tell them what you
Right.
want. Yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah,
Yeah. That it's, you know, to just, a lot of people have talked about making a practice one, going and getting a cheap box from Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby and papering it, because we're all afraid to. That's one of the scary steps is papering it and
yeah.
gluing your embroidery down onto the box. And if you go back and listen to the one we did with Mary Berry, she says she's basically just do it, just get over it, just move forward. So yeah,
Yep, hard for people to do that though. Yeah, you just got to
it
suck it
is.
up. And
Mm-hmm.
and practice. Find a piece and practice. Like if you have a box, I mean, anybody who knows wood, you can get. If you're gonna glue onto a panel, look at the wood, take it to Home Depot or whatever. That's the other thing. Home Depot and Lowe's have in their wood section, they have a section of hobby, high quality hobby craft woods. So take your box in and look in that section. You can probably find the same wood and buy a small sheet of it for not a lot of money and then practice on that. So you're not
Hmm.
practicing on your box. But the wood is generally available. Um, I will tell you that I had to buy some dowel for, it was when I made those spinning, those drop spinners when we were at Sassy Jack's. And I needed dowels. And I bought some dowels at Hobby Lobby because I was buying some other parts at Hobby Lobby. And then I needed more doweling, so I just went to Home Depot. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper there. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Get your doweling and your craft wood at Home Depot. Don't get it at Hobby Lobby because you get the hobby markup price, and
Right.
Home Depot doesn't care. It's just wood to them. So
Right.
yeah, watch that. Yeah, because you can save. I mean, it was. I mean, it wasn't a lot. It was 15, 20 cents. But if you're buying a lot of pieces, that starts to add up. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
but
And and I think the idea behind these boxes, I think that's what's always intrigued me is putting the embroidery and making something that's 3D.
yeah,
So, you know, yeah, if you want to practice on something, but just I know I'm just one of these days I'm gonna get a panel done and I'm gonna glue it on. I'm gonna start gluing because that's what people do. I
yeah.
think a lot of people wait till the end to glue them all on.
Well,
And every now and then I'll hear, I'm getting ready to glue.
oh no, here we go. Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah.
Here we go.
Well, and keep in
Yeah.
mind it's wood. Sand it off like you're gonna those
Hmm.
tape marks that are on there. It's still wood.
Right.
A piece of sandpaper, sand it off.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Try again.
right. You can't do that a bunch of times because then the wood gets a little thin. But yeah, just sand it off. Clean it
Right.
off, sand it. The glue doesn't penetrate that deep, and go again. Yep.
Right.
There's always an out. So, yeah. Yep. All right. I think we should wrap up. Oh, I'm gonna start a Patreon page coming up here, and start doing some extra videos for people on a Patreon page. And one of them is going to be this case creation Z stand that I bought eons ago, and has basically just been as a stand for needlepoint, just useless. But I bought it to travel with. So like going to our son's house, I could take and do needlepoint, and I bought it to travel with. And all these joints, they just don't hold. The wood to wood, they just don't hold. And I figured out a way to fix that, and it fixed it really well. So I'm going to do a video that we'll put on the Patreon page that shows how I fixed it and how well it works now. It's so that piece, I've seen prices 80, 90, up to 130 or $40 for this stand. And it's a really nice stand that you can travel with, set on your lap or whatever. But man, it just is useless because it won't stay where, and you can tighten and tighten and tighten. You're just crushing the wood. You're not getting anywhere. The wood
Right.
crushes and it holds a little bit and then it slips again. Well, I fixed it. I found a way for very little money. And so I'll do a video on that. And now this thing, I mean, I was stitching at our son's house and pulling Krynic through and pulling on it to get the tension right. And she was staying right where she's supposed to. So now this thing that's been sitting in a drawer has actually become useful again, for the first time, quite frankly.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
And you
Yeah.
said you've got a case stand that will not stay, and we think the
Right.
same solution will work there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
um,
yeah, we'll have to try that out. And yeah, that'll be great. And it's good that you starting a Patreon for all those because we've had ideas for things for videos to make and things to do. It's just it does take a lot of time. And so it'd be
yep.
nice to have a way to get that to people that, you know,
Yeah.
be reimbursed a little bit for
Yeah,
that time.
yeah. I mean, if you've enjoyed Fiber Talk through the 8 years and want
Eight
to support
years.
us, 8 years, yeah, yeah,
Oh my.
I know. And you want to support us, Patreon is going to be a way to do it. So that's coming up. Actually, the page is set up. I just got to create the link that is simple so people can actually link to it. And then we'll start offering Patreon support, and then videos like this one, and we've got a couple others that will go on there, and you'll be able to get some extra material that is not available through the regular channels. So, yep. So that's coming up, and then we're about to wrap up here, and then we have to remember Bess in needle pointers, the new needle pointers Jan-Feb issue from American Needlepoint Guild is the best lizard canvas. Made it. Well, of course it was going to make it because it's an honorable mention in the annual event seminar or whatever it is. So Beth got in there on page 32, right at the top.
Yeah. I gotta send a copy to my mom. She'll be proud.
Yep. Well, I'm putting this in the mail to you. Now I just bent this page, but it'll be okay.
Right. That'll be fine.
So yeah, putting this in the mail to you, so you'll have an extra one. But yeah,
Yeah,
Beth,
thanks.
Beth's in the because yeah, for those who follow the show, Beth shipped it out to Kansas City for the show, and then it got shipped back, and Beth hasn't seen it. It's
No, it's gone. It's gone.
yeah,
And I realized paying more attention of how people get their mail. The next town over, people there's a whole Facebook page that they say, okay, I have a package. It belongs to so and so. You want to come pick it up? And
yeah,
I'm like, oh,
yeah,
horrors.
yeah.
Or have you seen my medicine? It said it
Oh,
was delivered. I really need it. Please, can you?
yeah, yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah. So yeah, so if you see that lizard canvas, if it comes to you through the post office, Beth would really like to have it.
I really would. I
Really
really
would,
would.
yeah. But it's you know it's somewhere in the system, and someday it'll show up. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's in a pile somewhere, and somebody will go through the pile, and it'll
yeah.
get shipped. You know, but geez, that's frustrating. Especially all the work
Mm-hmm.
you went to, and you ship it, you get an award, and you got the ribbon. You really like to have the ribbon, and
Yeah.
your son
And
gets the
it's
piece, and
right. And I had a friend comment because my guild president posted it on our Facebook page, and one of the gals in our guild really had been encouraging me for years to put something in
oh,
the ANG. And when she saw that I got the honorable mention, she wrote, "I told you so." It's like, yes, you did. Yes, you
yep,
did, Vicky. You did
yep,
tell me to enter
yep.
something.
And then you win, and then it doesn't come back. So frustrating.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
so
Oh
frustrating.
well.
Yeah. So
C'est la vie.
yep. Yeah, that's how you have to look at it because you can beat your head against the wall all day long. It ain't gonna change it. So
Nope.
yeah. So anyway, Beth's in the Jan Feb issue of Needle Pointers magazine, along with all the others, but the only one I saw in there was Beth's.
There's some gorgeous pieces in
Yeah,
there. Let me tell you.
yeah, yeah,
Oh man, people
yeah. I don't
art.
know. Well, you have to be probably have to be a member to even sign into the website to see it. So um,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Most of the
Probably.
stuff, most of the stuff on their site is behind the membership wall. So yeah, it's too bad. So anyway, yay for that. You made it in the magazine. I'll be sending this out to you here in the next day or two, so you have a second one. That's it. We're done. Sunday is Amy Jones of Grandpa Cat from Australia. Some amazing work. And we're getting ready to record the videos, the Sunday shows that we're going to talk about. We're going to take listener questions, and we have one we're going to do on scroll frames and stitch path. That's going to be the first one. We got to record it. We got to get our act together and record it. That'll be the following Sunday. So we're putting pressure on ourselves to get it done. But if you have questions about needlework, either beginner level, advanced level, whatever it is, send them to us, Gary at WeTalkFiber.com. send them to us, and because we want to do more than one of these shows. And
Mhm.
but we did from listeners. Somebody wanted to know what our experience has been with scroll frames, and we all have some experience, good and bad. And the other was Cindy and I talked about Stitch Path a couple weeks ago, and what is that? What does that mean? How do you use it? And so we're going to do those two topics in a video. That'll be a Sunday video. So
Yeah.
well, it'll be the audio too for all the audio listeners. But some of this stuff is it's just got to
You
be
need a
video.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a video.
And as I did last Sunday, that video will be on YouTube, but I'll also put it on the Fiber Talk page, which doesn't get counted by YouTube, but who cares? People can see it. So
Right.
send those questions in, and then most important, get yourself registered for the Fiber Talk Needle Arts Weekend, March 21 to 23. WeTalkFiber.com/weekend for all the details. And then our Valentine's Day offer, if you recruit 3 people and they all register by Valentine's Day, either for the weekend or Saturday only, then you as the recruiter get half off of your fee for the event, not the hotel. I got no say, got no control over the hotel, but half off of 300, so it would only cost you 100 and a half off of 225, so it'd be $112.50, give or take.
Perfect.
So get registered, but that's got to happen by Valentine's Day. All 4 of you got to register by Valentine's Day. And then the 18th is the deadline for the rooms to get the room rate if you're staying overnight at the hotel. So all of that in play, and I hope you'll join us for the weekend. We're going to have a great time doing all kinds of stitching. And again, as Beth said, it does not have to be, all these things most of them are all cross stitch. You do not have to be just cross stitch. We want
No.
all the techniques, as many as we can get. And Jennifer's going to be there with tamari. Oh, I can't wait. I got to try that tamari. I got to see what that's like. Some slow stitching. Beth's going to bring her casket. And I think we got at least one other person going to be there with a casket or talked about it.
I think so.
So you get to see what people have done on their caskets. No, it's going to be, that's why we call it the Needle Arts Weekend. It's not cross stitch retreat. It's Needle Arts Weekend. If you do it with needle and thread, we want to see it.
Absolutely.
If you quilt and you want to bring your quilting, bring it.
Absolutely.
We'll see that. Jennifer will be sitting right next to you. I can about guarantee that. So, yeah. So that's get your registration in, and Valentine's Day, February 14, if you want to take advantage of that half off if you recruit 3 others to go with you. And that's it. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.